Welcome back. As we promised, we are going to take you to the new Alamein city. The new Alamein city now is enjoying the largest entertainment festival and is receiving guests from inside and outside Egypt to enjoy their time there, enjoy a wonderful vacation, which I think they are not going to forget. And this is continue to be their habit. They are going to return back more and more to the wonderful new city to shed more light on the investment opportunities, on the entertainment festival, on how this is really sending a message of how Egyptians can do miracles when they really want, the new road to the new Republic to Egypt 2030 already started with tangible steps. We are very much delighted to have with us via phone His Excellency Ambassador Gamal Bayoumi, former Assistant Foreign Minister and our economic expert. Thank you very much for being with us, sir, and a very good morning.
It's my pleasure. How are you? Good morning.
Sir, before going into details, have you been to the old Alamein before?
I think I am one of the first Egyptians who saw this area.
Oh.
In 1969, one Damietian friend, expert in the hotel industry, he went to Marsa Matruh and he established a hotel on Romel Island.
Yeah.
And I visited him. I drive my car along all this beach, and I was really amazed by the color of the water, the color of the sand. So I stopped several times to have plenty of slide pictures. I still have this.
Wow.
And so I have seen all this area without one single building. Bearing in mind that I am coming from Ras Al Bar also, which was the summer resort for many high-class Egyptians.
For the elite.
I have seen El Nahas Bash, I have seen Kulthum, Abdul Wahab, Abdul Halim, even King Farouk was driving his boat in the River Nile at that area.
Yeah.
I am proud to tell you that, I don't know whether you know that, my grandfather, because he was working in the electric field, he was the first one who established one electric lamp in Ras Al Bar in 1928. So I know the value of developing such areas. We have a theater in Ras Al Bar and a cinema, and we established this generator to supply electricity to our neighbors. And this continued up till 1960, because the first time electricity reached the Ras Al Bar, it was 1960. I have seen at that theater Yusuf Bek Wahbi, Naguib al-Rahani, Abdul Wahab made a wonderful night in 1942. I was so young I couldn't enter even, but I heard him. I have seen him in the office of my father. So I know the value of such things to make an area revive, to make an area attractive to tourists and to even internal tourism.
This is exactly what I want to say, that we are building on what we have achieved before. We are not coming from scratch, but to turn a place like that to this wonderful new city. I mean, what was your impression when you even saw on the screen, on television, the concerts there, and how people are really enjoying their time with the facilities, with the towers, with the
My history here started gradually. When engineer of our family started to boat in Maraya the first time, then we started to came here. Then my dear ambassador, the late Dr. Aisha Ratib, drew my attention to Marina. I came to Marina and was amazed by the wonderful water and the sea. So I bought a small chalet in Marina. Then started my history here. The idea is we are living on only 7% of the Egyptian area.
Yeah.
This is not good, while we are giving birth much more than any other country in the world. I always make a point that since 2011, we gave birth to a number of children double of the size of Greece. We are giving birth to 5 countries like Qatar every year. So where we are going to put our children and grandchildren? So
New
this is
communities,
why
new cities.
we are
Yeah.
establishing new cities, and it's a good idea, of course, to go to the west because it is totally desert, and it has a history in our old history, and it's very good. I am amazed because one of my secrets that I love driving cars. So I am proud to tell you that I was engaged in the building capacity of our road authority with the help of many European friends, Germans, French, Italian. So when I drive, I just came, I am talking to you from Marina, by the way, not very far from Alamein. And
The new
coming
Alamein city,
from,
sir, is built across 48,000 acres with investments exceeding 40 billion Egyptian
exactly,
pounds. And
exactly.
to have this entertainment festival there lasting for weeks, not only for days, I think this is one of the wonderful ways of marketing, because this is going to attract the attention not only for the vacation seekers, but also for the investors and the private sector mega companies, whether from inside or outside Egypt, if you agree with me on that.
Absolutely, and I want to add to this that it's not only entertainment. How millions of jobs we are creating there. Drivers, cars, restaurants, hotels, name it. We are surrounded with a new society of people who are serving in this area of our country, and by hundreds of thousands. So this is another way to create jobs. And I must tell you, something is not positive in my idea, in my opinion, that Egypt deserves much more tourism than this. When we started to build capacity of our tourism authority, we chose Austria to help us with their experience. Why Austria, not Spain or Greece? Because Austria, with 8 million inhabitants, they receive 45 million tourists every year.
Yeah.
We have to learn this. We have to learn how to treat a tourist, whether at the tourism company, at the airway company also, how the taxi driver is treating our guests, and so on. So Egypt deserves much more tourists than we have now, and this needs more and more efforts in order to attract more and more investment in this area and more tourists coming to Egypt.
Amen to
And,
that. And sir, another.
my final remark here,
Yeah.
that Egypt is well known as a place where you want to go to see the monuments of the pharaonic period. But we never market for the summer resorts. We never make the point that we have also, beside the pyramids, we have wonderful scenes and wonderful places in the sort of good weather and suitable place for the tourists to come and to live for some time.
Amen to that, sir. But to add to what you've just said, also, when President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi received many of our high-ranking guests there, the UAE President, Mohammed bin Zayed, a Bahraini king, and I think also a tripartite summit is going to take place today in the New Alamein city between President al-Sisi, Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas, and Jordanian monarch Abdullah al-Thani, meaning that it's a full city. I mean, it's not only a resort. I mean, we can be there. It's very safe, secure. We can do many events there, whether it's political, it's sports, it's entertainment, it's our soft power, you name it. Taking into consideration that these events, even if they are not saying so that way, I mean directly, in an indirect way, the messages to be accurate are sent. If you want to elaborate, sir.
Exactly, and my point here that take Sharm el-Sheikh when we call for the conference of environment, COP27. How many presidents and head of state came received by our president? How many thousands of participants? It is indirect propaganda for our country. How many newspapers and magazines wrote about their presidents in the conference without you pay a penny to cover this sort of propaganda?
Yeah.
This is what we are doing now in Al Alamein. And really, I want to tell you that in my balcony, I see the helicopters going and coming back with our high official guests coming and going back. And I was so amazed and proud and happy that the head of the Emirate came and they got some pictures of him walking in the street.
Yes, he was taking selfies with the Egyptians.
With the area.
Yes. He was enjoying his time, and of course, the new Alamein city is great, is wonderful. But the most important, or the most beautiful, or the most unique thing we have is us, the Egyptians. The warm reception, the hospitality, the smile on our faces, and the sense of security and safety for all, whether from the presidents of states until the most simple layman in the street. I think that this is only found in Egypt, or at least in my humble opinion.
Yes, it is exactly, and the Egyptian people are well known that they are very friendly. You got in a taxi, then the driver starts to tell you the story of his life and ask you about your problem, and he may help you to solve your problem. Yes, we are very friendly with our guests. This is not really, you can see it in many other countries, and I think Egypt is unique in this point. You're absolutely right.
Amen to that. Sir, then how I can briefly explain or say or brief our dear viewers regarding the economic importance of Al Alamein Entertainment Festival?
Of course. By the way, I want to tell the Egyptians that, because I told you I come from the cinema industry and the theater industry, 55% of the revenue is in one sort of another a tax to the government immediately. So more than half of the revenue coming to those occasions gained by the government. Then it is to give to the needy people on the other side, from where the government is getting its budget by imposing taxation on this. There is a direct tax and indirect taxes, and the city tax also, and the income tax. Three types of taxing on such occasions. So this is the first. Second, it is entertaining the people who are coming here. And of course, it is a moving propaganda, because of course those who are singing here or acting are our famous singers and actors, and millions of people love them, so they follow it, and it is very good propaganda for Egypt. Then we have the investment, then we have job creation, as I mentioned before, many economic results of such an activity, and I'm quite sure, and this is very positive to our economy.
And already we were paving the way, I mean, the developing our infrastructure, the networks of roads. As the Americans are saying, build it and they'll come. Now, I don't think that there is a problem going to Al Alamein because the free highways we have made it that easy. And it's not only Al Alamein, we do have this developed infrastructure all over Egypt. I think also this was very important.
Yes, and really we have a roadmap which is wonderful. I want to tell you that it is depending on European experts at the highest level. I was near to this project also. And really it is wonderful that because our president once explained, why do we need roads and ports, and if we want to import or export, how we can do this without roads enough to take our merchandise out of the country or bring the raw material coming from our outside country. Once I was studying how the economic miracle of Germany was done after the Second World War. One very important element is building roads. This is the same thing in the United States of America and many other countries.
Yeah.
Building roads is one big step towards much more economic development.
Sir, one final question regarding the event in a new city. Of course, we are enjoying such a wonderful weather there in Al Alamein, the new Alamein city. It's the summer, it's very hot, but there the weather is really nice. How do you see the will of the state to repeat such events, but for example, in the winter to be in Upper Egypt and to discover new cities in Upper Egypt? Or to discover new cities in Egypt, to discover cities already found in Egypt, but unfortunately we were not that keen to propagate for. But if you go to El Minya, for example, to Asyut, to Qina, to Luxor, to Aswan, if we do have such events in such places in Upper Egypt in the winter, I think they are going also to attract more visitors, whether from inside or outside Egypt, and it's going to be, as you've kindly mentioned, free propaganda for all our cities or for wonderful sites distributed all over our beloved country.
Yes, you are absolutely right, and I have visited several times the new cities, the other side of Aswan and the other side of Luxor, name it. Every city on the River Nile now is building its new premises on the other side of the River Nile.
Yeah.
So we are establishing places for those who are seeking for places to live, building also houses, and attracting foreign direct investment, attracting tourism. Now all these ideas are in effect, and the government is taking care of this. I hope also the private sector will participate, and we can attract much more private sector to all this idea.
Inshallah. Well, as usual, I enjoyed our discussion, sir. Have a very good day. You are always an added value to our programs. We were very much delighted to have with us via phone His Excellency Ambassador Gamal Bayoumi, former Assistant Foreign Minister. Right after the short break, we are going to return back with more, so stay tuned.